Hey everyone! Today we're building the Tandy Leather Janis Fringe Bag Kit, a stylish project that's perfect for beginners or intermediates, or anyone wanting to brush up on their leathercraft skills. Let's dive in and walk through it step by step. This kit comes with pre-punched holes, so all you'll need is an adhesive of choice, an awl, and some scissors. So grab your tools and let's move on to the next step. We're going to start by creating the leather button. Use an adhesive of your choice, in this case we're using EcoFlow contact cement, and place that all over the back side or the flesh side of your button, then roll it up, leaving 2 small holes remaining. Next, we're going to create the straps. Put adhesive on the flesh side of all of these straps and then adhere them together. You can use something like a poly roller to hold them in place even better. You're going to do this to all 6 pieces to create 3 pieces of straps. Next, we're going to sew together the gusset, but only where it meets in the middle. You'll do this by starting with a back stitch, so start in the second hole, then use a running stitch all the way down and all the way back. Continue this until you get to the end of your stitch line and all of your sewing holes are filled. For the next step, take your leather button and using the holes that are there as a guide, use an awl of your choice to punch holes all the way through so we can sew this to the front piece. It can take a little bit of work, so please be very careful not to stab yourself in the process of doing this. Once you have your holes punched, grab your button and your front panel and feed your needle through from the back. Sometimes it can help to use pliers. Get that all the way through, feed it to the back, and make a knot to lock your button in place. Next, take the small pocket and the big pocket and attach the small one to the front. Again, we're going to lock our stitch in by starting in the second hole and then overstitching in the top hole to lock that on before using a running stitch. This pocket's going to be a little bit different than some sewing projects you may have done before. So sew to the bottom corner, then roll your pocket to create an overlap, almost like a small gusset, and then continue sewing from there to create a deeper pocket than if these pieces were flush. You'll do that in the second corner as well. So sew across the bottom, and when you reach the second corner, roll your leather to create a small gap there that will help give that pocket some depth. Next, take your pocket assembly and attach it to the back panel on the flesh side, making sure that the grain side of your pockets is facing up and the flesh side of your back piece is also facing up. Using the instructions as a guide, start all of your decorative lacing around the fronts and tops of various pieces. Tie a knot in one end and cut a slant at the other end to feed the lace through, making sure that you keep the grain side up and the flesh side hidden for each of these pieces. From here, using the adhesive of your choice, adhere the front assembly to the front pocket. Make sure to measure this out so you don't put adhesive too far up and end up with it exposed. Take your time and line up your holes before placing these together. Now we'll attach the fringe. Using an adhesive of your choice, start with the back panel assembly and your fringe. How you orient your fringe will determine how it looks when your bag is complete, so you can face it upward or downward, your choice. After putting the fringe on the back panel, we're going to install the gusset. So adhere your gusset to your holes and then lace that down to hold it in place. Once you've attached it, take the front panel with fringe attached and lace that onto the front side of the gusset all the way around, just like we did on the back side. Now we'll attach the front flap to the back panel. I'm using a double-sided tape here instead of an additional adhesive, but you can use whatever you'd like. Go ahead and lace that across the back to hold that in place. Now for the shoulder strap. Grab 2 of the pieces and line up the holes. You're then going to use this image as a reference to be able to sew these together the correct way. Use your lace and make sure that the front-facing lace is always grain side up and flesh side down. This can be a little bit tedious, but take your time. Make sure to do this for all 3 of your straps so you have one long strap at the end. Now we can lace the strap onto the bag using the pre-cut holes. Starting with your lace in the hole and making sure to match the same pattern that you used on the rest of the shoulder strap. Sew both sides onto the gusset of your bag to complete your shoulder strap. And there you have it, a beautiful, highly fringed bag with lots of pockets and storage space, and a statement piece for you to wear any and everywhere. If you liked this process, go ahead and drop us a comment and let us know. If you've made this bag before, let us know as well. And if you've got any suggestions for additional content in the future, drop them in the comments. And as always, friends, happy crafting.